Madison Bumgarner is in search of a win. He hasn't won a start since early August, yet his ERA for the season ranks among the league leaders. The young lefty may be country strong, but his run support is lacking some strength. Today, Bumgarner gets the ball and looks to bring home a series split. Giants D-backs next.
It's Hyundai Sunday on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area as Giants Baseball is brought to you by your Bay Area Hyundai dealers. Today is the Giants and D-backs final game of the series right here at AT&T Park. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dwayne Kuiper. Alongside me is Mike Krukow. Well, a win today, and they split this four-game series. The Giants do. And more than that, Mike, it's important that this team, this offense, gets some runs for Madison Bumgarner. He's hung in there all year long, and he just hasn't got a lot of support.
Well, it's been pretty bad. I mean, that really is the key today. And you don't have to get him a lot. If you look back, the last 9 starts he's had, he has an ERA of 2.84. That's dealing. Well, guess what? The Giants have won one of those games. So it gets down to offense. They have to have it. They've got some new faces in there today, and hopefully somebody can come up with a couple of big hits that gives Madison Bumgarner a few runs.
It's a pair of left-handers. Wade Miley, just about the same age as Bumgarner. He'll be on the hill for the D-backs. When we come back, we will have the lineups on the first pitch right after this.
Is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Go big at a participating Jack in the Box with Jack's really big chicken sandwich combos for only $3.99 plus tax. And by Toyota. Do the math and save at your local Toyota dealer.
The Giants taking the field, led by Madison Bumgarner. Our game time weather is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is open this weekend. Beautiful 74 degrees here at the yard. You see the humidity, winds light, and it's a sunny Sunday afternoon. Here's the Diamondbacks lineup, and it's brought to you by Coors Light. Kirk Gibson will go with this group. It'll be Bloomquist, Pollock, and then Goldschmidt. And he's had a good series. Followed by Hill, the rookie Matt Davidson. Montero is hitting 6th. Another rook, Chris Owings, 7th. And then Adam Eaton and Wade Miley.
On the hill today for the Giants will be the left-hander Madison Bumgarner, and this is what he has done in 28 starts. 11-9 with a 2.91 ERA. Hard to believe that in his last 9 starts, an ERA of under 3, and the Giants only have won 1 of those games. 174 strikeouts, 182 in the third. How does he do it? Well, a low 3/4 release, fastball that goes low 90s, has a natural cut. He will establish that inside corner on righties. He's got a slider, a curveball, and a changeup. And he's confident in all of those pitches. Lifetime against this Arizona team, he's 4-4 with a 3.07 ERA. He is one of those teams that has never really gotten good run support against it, but yet he's always seemed to have pitched very well against them. Let's take a look at the defense that the Giants will employ today behind Madison Bumgarner, starting in their outfield from left to right. You have Peguero, Perez, and Pence. That's your outfield with good arms across the board. That's good, solid 3 outfield arms. Brandon Crawford joined by Arias on the left side of the infield. Abreu and Posey on the right side. Good to see Posey back in the lineup. And Hector Sanchez will be in the squad putting down the signs.
So we've got the final game of this 4-game series. Diamondbacks have won 2 out of the 3 games so far, and the first pitch is high. So we get started at 106. So Bloomquist, who's hitting .354 with 12 runs batted in, waits on the 1-0, and this is popped up, and it's going to be Crawford looking right into the sun. You can see the glare, the reflection of the sun in his sunglasses. 1 out.
There's the glare that Kive's talking about. It is a sun field, but it actually will intensify as the game wears on. It'll be really directly in their eyes around the 6th, 7th inning.
So here's A.J. Pollock. Pollock takes high. He's hitting .251, 7 home runs, 33 driven in. Pollock led off the game. Well, he led off for the Diamondbacks last night and went 1 for 5. Here he takes a call strike, and that's home plate umpire Ron Kolpa.
And it's a good pitcher zone. It's a big strike zone today. Corners on both sides of the plate. Kolpa prefers the knee-high strike, but you will see some belts called as well.
And this is dribbled foul, and it's 1-2. See the rest of the crew. It'll be Hallion, Cuzzi, and Cuccione from first to third. One and 2 to A.J. Pollock. And that's hooked foul past Matt Williams. Diamondbacks are 11 back of the Dodgers in the West. They're 8 back of the last wild card spot, and that ended up in a good spot.
Indeed.
This is popped the other way and out of play. Both the D-backs and Giants in their last 10 games are 4-6. Here's Goldschmidt getting ready as he's in the on-deck circle.
It's $1 million smile right there. A lollipop in one hand, a big league hard ball in the next. Life is good.
And the first cut of the game, and it's 2-2. So some new baseballs for home plate umpire Ron Kolpa. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And another souvenir. This one hit into the club level down the right field line. Outfield straight away. It is a Star Wars theme today. Or it could be a normal day for that matter. And that's fair over the bag at third. And Pollock is going to be standing at second with a double.
Nice at bat by A.J. Pollock, spinning on it and raking it right past Arias. I mean, right over the bag. And not anything anybody could have done defensively on that ball. That ball had a mind of its own.
So here's Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt hitting at .294. He's got 31 home runs. He's got 107 RBIs, and that leads the National League. Hasn't had a big series. He did have 2 big RBIs on Thursday night. Here he swings and misses, and it's 0-1.
That's a good curveball. Usually he'll establish that slider and cut it early in the game, and you don't see that curveball till the second time through. But I like the call, especially here to Goldschmidt.
And this is foul to the backstop, and he threw another one. And it's no balls and 2 strikes.
Backed it right up. Curveball, curveball.
Ed Williams yelling something out to his base runner Pollock, and the fastball is high, 1-2.
You'll see Hector Sanchez call that elevator fastball a lot, especially when you have a lot of breaking balls that go down low in the strike zone or below it.
Out of play. He came back, maybe a cutter in on his hands, and it remains 1-2. So Bumgarner gets a sign from Hector Sanchez, and he got him with a high fastball.
90 mile an hour, 4-seam fastball right through the outside corner. And right to the target. You get a chance to see how quick that swing is from Goldschmidt. It always seems to look better in the pitcher's eye when he swings and misses.
So here's Hill. Hill at .299. He's got a little bit of ownage on Bumgarner in the extra base hit department. He's got 4 hits and 13 at bats against Bumgarner. But all the hits he's gotten against Bumgarner have been extra base hits. There's a strike. He's got 2 doubles and 2 home runs against them.
Perfect location with that cut right to belt. That's a pitch. That's a breaking ball. And the break on it is just more of a slide that bores about 3 or 4 to 5 inches in on the hands of a right-hander from the left-hander. And he's got an open base, so these next 2 pitches, he doesn't have to go in that strike zone.
The on-deck hitter is Matt Davidson. He's the rook. And Bumgarner runs this one in tight. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Sanchez running through a set of signs. And Hill is going to go around. It's 2-2. So another curveball.
That ball, was that fouled?
I'm not sure.
Let's see what this ball hits.
Nothing.
I don't think he hit anything. He just sort of boxed it. Thing hit way low in the heel of the glove of Sanchez.
Tried to backdoor him. It's 3-2.
Oh, I thought he had him. Tried to backdoor the big curveball. Just a bit outside, just a bit high.
And some umpires might give you that. And he got him anyway, swinging to end the inning. Giants are coming up. Arias to lead things off. Brought to you by Coors Light. A couple of guys getting days off. It'll be Arias, Abreu, and Buster Posey. Hunter Pence. See what Hunter's done in his last 16 games. Pretty good. Hector Sanchez, he'll hit in the 5th spot. Then it's Figueroa, Perez, a couple of rooks. Crawford will hit 8th and Bumgarner 9th.
On the hill today for the Arizona Diamondbacks will be the left-hander Wade Miley, 6 feet tall, 220-pounder. In his second year at the big league level. He's 26 years of age. This is what he has done in 28 starts, 9-10 with a 3.78 ERA. He's a 4-pitch guy. You'll see a fastball that he can 2 and 4 seam. He'll cut it. He has curveball, slider, changeup. He'll give you the whole gambit, anything at any time. He's got a lot of confidence in that strike zone. Lifetime against the Giants, 1-3.
So Arias shows bunt, and he takes a strike, probably just taking all the way. And he drives this one into left center field, and it's going to be the left fielder Bloomquist who tracks it down.
That was a bullet. Well, let's take a look at the defense that the Diamondbacks will employ today. You just saw Willie Bloomquist make a nice play, joined by Pollock and Eaton. That's your outfield. Owings and Davidson on the left side of the infield. Hill and Goldschmidt on the right side. And Miguel Montero, he's in the squad, putting down the signs.
And here's Abreu. Abreu looks at a strike. 239 for Tony Abreu with a home run, 7 driven in. He goes the other way, and it's lofted out to Eaton, who makes the catch. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Buster Posey.
First baseman number 28, Buster Posey.
309 for Buster Posey, 14 home runs, 69 driven in. And the first pitch is a fastball for a strike, so Miley's been able to get that first pitch strike. And second pitch strike.
Backed it up. You see 90-mile-an-hour fastballs. You'll see mid-90s at times from Miley. And he definitely believes in that fastball. Likes to work a quick pace. Ooh, just a wee bit low.
The 1-2 to Buster Posey is low, 2-2. Hunter Pence on deck. Bottom of the first inning. And it's 0-2 to 3-2. Posey lifts one out to Eaton, and Miley with 3 fly balls and a 1-2-3 first. 0-0.
By Heffernan Insurance Brokers. Insurance and financial services for you and your business. Visit hefins.com.
Well, the Dodgers will make their final visit to AT&T Park. It'll start on September 24th. There are still tickets available for all 3 midweek night games, which are going to start at 7:15. Visit sfgiants.com/dynamic deal to take advantage of the dynamically priced Dodger tickets. So here's Matt Davidson, who takes a strike. Davidson hitting at 176. He's 6 for 34 since being called up to the major leagues.
Nice year down in Reno. 17 homers, 74 RBIs. It is an offensive yard, however.
And that is a massive ugly finder.
That's, you don't want to be on the receiving end of that one. He got all that one.
This one was towards the direction of Ron Wotus.
Look out, Woody.
And Davidson goes around. So that's 3 strikeouts in a row for Madison Bumgarner.
Another curveball and a good one. Put it right in the dirt where you're supposed to, and you have a 1-2 count. And Davidson could not check it.
So here's Montero. A rare night off for Montero last night. It was Nieves who did the honors. And Montero takes high. He's at 236 with 10 home runs, 37 driven in. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Right above the hands. Montero's a dead pull hitter. He likes the ball down around the knees. Really sort of a classic left-hander swing. And a throwback in one regard. I mean, he looks to pull early, but he's got a loopy swing, and he's got a hole right at the belt inside corner, and Bumgarner just took advantage of it.
One and two.
Right back up there again. That's a good curveball. I mean, he's got a nice feel that pitch, and that's exactly where he wanted to put it. And I'm really surprised that Montero was able to lay off this one. Not that far away from the strike zone.
And the 2-2 pitch is low and away, 3-2. So Bumgarner rubs up the baseball as he'll go after Miguel Montero, who's 5 for 25 against the Giants lefty. And he got him, and that's 4 strikeouts in a row.
And that time with the fastball.
All right, let's check in with Amy G. Amy?
All right, gentlemen, you mentioned that some of the regulars not out there today. Bruce Bochy said before today's game he had scheduled a rest day for Pagan and Scudero, but Pablo Sandoval is out today. He is resting a sore back, and good news for Buster Posey, he's back much sooner than Bochy expected. He did well in live BP yesterday and felt good enough to play. He did tell me, Buster himself, that when he goes back to catching, he will wear some kind of device, a plastic hard cover to protect that finger. Gentlemen?
Yep. Here's Chris Owings, who picked up his first and second major league hit in the game last night. It's a swing and a miss, 1 ball and 1 strike.
You're looking at a lot of swing and miss stuff right now. All 4 of those strikeouts were swing and miss strike 3s, and here he opens up with a swing and miss strike 1 on a 1-0 count.
I got this one down now. Swing and a miss.
Swing and a miss. You can say that a lot this first couple. Well, it's first time through the lineup.
So it's 1-2 to Chris Owings. Bumgarner is red hot. He's got 5 strikeouts in a row. Giants are coming up. Hunter Pence to lead it off.
Bay Area Hyundai dealers.
Hunter Pence will lead things off. No score. Pence, Sanchez, and Peguero. Pence hitting .289, 19 home runs, 73 driven in. Pence in the game last night. He had a couple of hits. And it's 3-0. So as easy as it was for Miley to throw strikes in the first inning, he's having a little trouble throwing strikes here to Pence. And he comes in, and it's now 3 balls and 1 strike. Pence 2 for 9 lifetime against Miley. And he skies this one out to left field for Bloomquist. And Bloomquist will put it away.
Well, log on to csnbayarea.com and click on to Giants In-Game Live, presented by Eric's Deli Cafe. Enhance the in-game experience on your computer, smartphone, or tablet. Follow the action on the diamond like never before with in-depth stats up to the second box scores, and join the social buzz with other fans. Giants In-Game Live, presented by Eric's Deli Cafe, only at csnbayarea.com.
Hector Sanchez at 264. And he takes a strike. Sanchez 1 for 4 yesterday with a strikeout. And that's just a little bit off the plate, with Francisco Peguero on deck. No score, bottom of the second inning. Swing and a foul, 1-2.
Well, he's got a swing built for that big, slow, low curveball down around the knees.
And he comes back, and you're right, he added a little on that fastball at 92. It stays at 1-2.
Now, he's one of those guys, too, in regard, we're talking about Miley, who can build his fastball. Oftentimes, you'll see him have his best velocity fastballs right around the 90 to 100 pitch level. Kind of reminds you of Matt Cain, who'll do that.
2-2. And a full count. So Hector Sanchez has worked it to 3 balls and 2 strikes. On the rail. Got him. First strikeout for Miley. And here's Peguero. Peguero, 22 at bats this year in a San Francisco Giants uniform. He's 4 for 22. And he wraps this one over Miley, and Hill is going to barehand and throw him out in a nice play. Peguero runs well. Miley with a 1-2-3 second. Third inning coming up. 0-0.
Anytime you strike out 5 guys in a row, that is worthy of a Ford right show. So let's take a look at how Madison Bumgarner has done it. Paul Goldschmidt on a fastball, then Aaron Hill, victim number 2. Davidson cannot hold back on a check swing on a breaking ball, then a fastball through Montero, and then a big curveball. The only called strike 3 of the 5 on Chris Owings, and that's our Ford right choice.
So here's Adam Eaton, really tough guy to strike out. And he runs up to bunt and he takes a strike. He ran up enough where if he'd have bunted it, he's going to have to be careful that he's not out of the batter's box.
He does a lot of little things that I think as his career unfolds and starts to gain reputation in the National League, he's going to tick a lot of people off.
Well, not by doing anything wrong, just by the way he plays.
Exactly. And he's a gnat in your ear. He's a bat control specialist. He can push bunt, drag bunt, slap bunt. And as you pointed out, he's tough to strike out. Got a little pop in his bat.
Tap slowly. It's going to be Abreu, and Abreu with a nice note is in and out of the glove of Buster Posey. That's one of those, boy, you're standing there and you're trying to figure out how hard is this guy going to throw it.
Now the effort from Abreu was outstanding, and Buster Posey, a rare drop. It's got to be an error on Posey. And it's going to be a hit.
So here's Miley. Miley swinging and bouncing it to Abreu, to Crawford, to Posey. And that's the risk you take when you don't bunt.
Well, Miley's a good hitting pitcher, and Kirk Gibson giving him the okay. But that was not that easy. And Abreu's feet here with a lot of heat barreling in on Brandon Crawford. Watch Eaton coming in hard. And that's everything about that was clean.
So here's Bloomquist. This group is ready right here.
Yeah, born ready.
Strike to Bloomquist. Bloomquist popped out to open up the ball game. One ball and one strike. D-backs coming in 3 games over 500. They're 72-69. They're 7-11 against the Giants this year. However, they're 5-4 here at AT&T Park. It's a bit odd. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
Might be the best curveball he's had in a while. It is snapping. Hey, Yoda's here.
Oh, Yoda's hanging on, man.
I think he went a little too hard last night.
The looks of the thing, I think Yoda goes at it hard every night, to be honest with
you. Yep. Yeah, he's not a one-timer.
2 balls and 2 strikes. This guy, however, got in early last night.
Lots of sleep.
That's a base hit up the middle for Bloomquist. And that'll bring up Pollock. Pollock doubled over the bag at third. He did that in the first inning. All right, break out the snacks. Figure the snacks, try to hold off until maybe the third. Well, that's where we're at.
Right on time.
If you break him out in the first, it starts to get a little weird around the 7th. pitch strike to Pollock, a high fastball. Pollock, a long look to Matt Williams. Matt Williams didn't really give much of a sign at all. He's a bum fan. Pulled foul behind Matt Williams, and it's 0-2. It's that slider and cutter. A lot of balls pulled foul.
Yeah, if you're playing on the left side of the infield with Madison Bumgarner, you're going to get a workout.
Well, Arias is hugging the line. Oh, 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, one thing that teams have not done this year is try and steal on Bumgarner. Remember last year, he did not do a good job of holding runners on, and teams were going on him all the time. Well, in the offseason and during spring training, made some changes, got a lot quicker out of the stretch, really made an effort to be a much better pitcher with runners on base, and it has really paid big dividends. And now you don't see many guys even attempt to steal a base when Bumgarner's out there.
So it's 1-2 to A.J. Pollock. And Pollock, a good rip at a 1-2 pitch. Yeah, you don't see much of that at AT&T Park. You see more hooded sweatshirts, a sweater.
Yeah, it's kind of a nice break. The weather we've had here the last several days has just been unbelievable, especially at nighttime. A lot of fans have been sitting here in short sleeves at night. Doesn't happen very often.
That's hit foul. Well, we used to joke when we were playing at Candlestick. You'd get visitors that would say, well, when does the weather get nice? When the 49ers start to play. Well, they're starting to play, and the weather's nice.
Well, we'd freeze through June, July, and August over at Candlestick, and then in the offseason we'd watch football and see the Niners playing this glorious weather.
My goodness.
October, November, oh my.
So it's 1-2. And a quick toss chasing Bloomquist back. He isn't much of a threat to steal. But that really has never stopped Kirk Gibson before from doing something that might be a little bit unorthodox. A high fastball, 2-2. Goldschmidt is on deck. And an infield hit, a double play ball, and a single by Bloomquist. Down the right field line, Pence will give chase, but this is going to be caught. How about that by Hunter Pence? We lost him down the right field line, and he comes out with the baseball. Oh, we'll get a look at it.
Measuring to see how far he had to go, and I mean right up against the wall. Great play.
Perez, Crawford, and then the pitcher. Madison, Bumgarner, and Perez on the first pitch lifts it to straightaway center field. And Pollock will put it away. It's been 7 up and 7 down for the Giants.
All right, time now for our Toyota replay of the game, brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. And as Pence goes out of your picture, we get a chance to see it from this angle. This was a heck of a play. A lot of things going on down there. Not to mention a big old wall you're going into.
Very, I don't want to say underrated, because I think everybody around here knows that he's played a great right field this year.
On the most difficult right field in the National League.
Here's Crawford, who takes high, 1 ball and no strikes. Crawford shows bunt, and he looks at a strike at the knees. Madison, Bumgarner on deck. The 2-1 to Crawford. Crawford takes low. Crawford 0 for 5 lifetime against Wade Miley. And a strike at the knees. So now it's 3-2.
Guys need to get Miley in the stretch. They haven't done that yet.
Here's Bumgarner waiting patiently. And a shot into left field, a base hit for Crawford, and a nice at bat.
Indeed.
And on cue, Miley now will pitch out of the stretch to probably a bunting Madison Bumgarner.
I love that approach that Brandon Crawford has against lefties. Using that left side of the field has really put some batting average points on his batting average this year. That's just a solid front shoulder. He looked like Todd Helton on that swing. Not a bad guy to try and look like.
Bumgarner, I think he showed like he was going to bunt. A lot of times pitchers will throw over there, or managers will ask pitchers to throw over there to see if they can get an idea if that guy is going to bunt or not. A 1 ball and no strikes. Bumgarner, a long look to Tim Flannery. Low again. It's 2-0.
Drives managers crazy when they put a bunt on, or when a team puts a bunt on against them and their pitcher can't throw a strike. They're trying to give you an out. You can't throw a strike to take advantage of it.
So Bumgarner high and foul. So Bumgarner still swinging away. We'll see if Tim Flannery in that set of signs. Is there a bunt sign in there? And he pulls the bat back on a hit and run, and it's 2-2. So Bruce Bochy letting Madison Bumgarner play some backyard baseball.
Yeah, well, why not? He takes a lot of pride in his hitting, and Miley's out there pumping fastballs. That's a good matchup for Bumgarner.
This one's off the end of the bat, foul. We got some work for Jill Victorino.
Made the play out of it, Jill.
Oh, Jill.
Just wait till it stops moving and pick it up. Perfect.
How much did that the last year I played? 2-2. And Bumgarner gets jammed, but he stays alive.
That was contact on a curveball. That's progress.
Two-two pitch. No swing. 3-2. Well, for Bumgarner, I don't know how this bat's going to end up, but it's been a pretty good one.
I doubt you'll see Bochy start the runner with 1 out in the 3-2 count.
He goes. Tap slowly. Miley thought about it.
So Bochy did send him, and it's a good thing.
Well, want to find great ticket deals for one of the last 2 September homestands? This is what you do. You go to sfgiants.com/dynamic deal. You can take advantage of $8 dynamic deals for this homestand, as well as the Dodger series at the end of the month. Check it out. sfgiants.com/dynamic deal. So here's Arias, who hit the ball well in the first inning, only to have Bloomquist track it down and left. And he swings and misses. No balls and 1 strike. Crawford at second. 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. And the pitch on the ground is short. Owings has it. His throw is in time, and that'll end the inning. Giants a hit. They strand 1. Paul Goldschmidt's going to lead things off. 0-0.
Tweet it to CSN Bay Area, or CSN Giants, I beg your pardon. Name the only 4 players in MLB history to win an MVP award and then go on to win Manager of the Year. Good question.
So here's Goldschmidt, who takes a strike. Goldschmidt struck out in the first inning, and it's now 0-2.
Both left-handers today really pounding the strike zone.
And that fastball high. It's 1-2. Arias across the diamond. 1 out.
Not a problem. He had plenty of time there to make the play anywhere he wanted to. He had time to set his feet and make a conventional throw, but I think he is very comfortable throwing on the run. Just relax, nice exchange off the right foot, flip, see ya.
Here's Aaron Hill. Hill takes a fastball high. Hill struck out to end the first inning. Outfield straightaway for Hill. He's got 9 home runs. He's got some pop. 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, I think his strength middle in. Short arm swinger. Very difficult to jam.
And that's foul.
Pick it, Matt Williams. Now, when you have sweet hands, you have sweet hands.
Never gets old watching him.
You just said that was stupid. He got a little bit of a stinger, but you know, I mean, he just nails it. No rattle at all, but he's feeling it.
3-2 to Hill.
He was so much fun to play with. Good Giant.
Swing and a miss. And Hill on a 3-2 curveball.
Curveball is nasty. And what has made it nasty is how late it has been before it starts to explode and die. And that's getting up there real late before it starts to crash in on the right-handed hitters.
So here's Davidson. Davidson struck out. Had a pitch to hit, and he fouls it straight back. And that pitch a bit high. One ball and one strike. Matt Davidson. And he's going to shoot one, and it may have been off the glove of Arias as he shoots one into left field. A base hit for Davidson.
Yeah, base hit all the way. That would have been play of the year. Ball really came up on him as it is. I mean, he had plenty of arm length to get to it, but the ball comes up on him, hits him high on the thumb. Just a top spin, one hop seed.
4 hits now for Arizona. Montero. He steps up. Montero struck out as he takes a fastball high. 1 ball and no strikes. This will be pitch number 66 for Bumgarner. And it's a slider, a cutter that moves Montero back off the plate. 2 balls and no strikes. Davidson with no steals almost got picked off.
Oh, I thought they had him. Tom Hallion, first base umpire, saying no, I don't think so.
Two balls and one strike. Let's see what Montero does with count leverage. He will get the barrel of the bat out.
Yeah, he's not afraid to buggy whip.
And that's fouled out of play.
I watched the throwback from Hector Sanchez. You gotta pump up the volume just a little bit.
Yeah, one hoppers don't count.
Yep. Whoa, the game will humble you in some small way.
2-2. And Montero has gone to end the inning on the curveball.
It's a good one.
An important day here at AT&T Park, the 16th annual Strikeout Violence Day. The Giants wanting folks to remember how important it is to work together to strike out violence in our homes and our communities, and together along with their partners, the Giants Community Fund, the San Francisco Sheriff's Department, and Futures Without Violence. They were able to grant more than $65,000 to organizations who are dedicated to this cause. Gentlemen, they also honored women who are survivors of violence, families who have lost loved ones, and families who are currently dealing with this issue. It's a day that puts things in perspective quickly. Dwayne?
All right. Thanks, Amy. I do have to ask you a question, though. Can you hear me?
Yeah, gotcha.
I asked you to pick me up a couple of your books at the Dugout Store. What happened? Are they all sold out?
They're sold out, Dwayne.
Oh, good for you. Smarty Marty, a big hit.
Well, it's a good book. Kids love it, and they'll learn how to keep score. So nice going, Namer the Gamer.
Yeah, you talk about lighten up when you mention Amy's book. She lights up, yeah. You worked hard on that book.
Yes, she did.
2-1 to Abreu, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike. Buster Posey on deck, and then Hunter Pence. And the walk. So that comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, and that comes at a great time, because now Miley's going to have to face the heart of the lineup out of the stretch. And leadoff walks have a tendency to haunt.
Buster Posey hit a fly ball to right field in the first. And here he takes in tight. 1 ball and no strikes. This is at bat in the first inning. His first at bat since the game on Tuesday in San Diego. Here he fouls it back, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Matt lit his hand up. He'll take a little walk right here. But you throw that top hand as that bat starts to roll through your swing, it's going to cover your fingertip. You're going to feel it. You'll feel the way of the bat, and if you've got a broken tip like he does, very painful.
2 balls and 1 strike.
I mean, you look at Posey, and he doesn't look like a tough catcher, like one of these catcher face guys. It kind of looks like your pediatrician.
Lines it to left. That's going to be a base hit. Abreu is going to be held at third. Posey's got a double.
So when you start talking about toughness, he's as tough as I've seen. I mean, he could play through pain as good as anybody I've ever seen. And he's showing it here in this at bat. He goes down and just rips ball down and in off Miley. And they always play him towards the gap in left center. They expose that line to the pull side of the field, and he finds it. So he hits away from the defense, and the Giants have a chance to go big.
So here's Pence. Pence with a big swing and a miss. And it's no balls and 1 strike. In the dirt, nice play by Montero. 1 ball and 1 strike. Pence with 73 runs batted in. An opportunity here to cash in. The only defender playing in is Goldschmidt. And it's a ball, make it 2 balls and 1 strike.
Now, Miley knows that Hunter Pence is red hot. He's got a base to give him here.
And that's out of play. It's 2-2.
Staying on that outside corner. It is Star Wars Day. And they're having a little fun up on the scoreboard.
You think? 2-2 to Pence. And now it's a full count.
How would you like to be taking your at bat and having to look up above the center field scoreboard and see that?
It would definitely mess with your concentration.
Well, I mean, wouldn't the catcher and the umpire have to say something?
Yeah, like, hey, check out your mug on the scoreboard. And the Hallion's going to ring him up. And Bruce Bochy's unhappy.
Let's take a look. Did he go? Yeah, that's cool. That's borderline right there. It could go either way. And that's the only guy you have to impress.
So here's Hector Sanchez, the first strikeout that Miley needed to get, he got. And this is low, 1-0.
These situations, I mean, you really can watch how a guy likes to try and strike a person out. And Miley likes to use that fastball to set up the at bat.
Remember, it was so frustrating in Bumgarner's last start where the Giants couldn't get those runners in this spot.
That's kind of been the way it has been the last 9 starts for him. Imagine that. ERA 2.84, 9 starts. Giants win 1 of those games. And here, Miley on top of Hector Sanchez. 1-2.
A walk to Abreu and a double by Buster Posey. Out of play. And that 91 mile-an-hour fastball sneaks up on you after you see the slow breaking balls. One and two. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Tried to elevate with that fastball. If you were to describe what type of pitcher Miley was, you'd have to say he's a fly ball strikeout guy. Man. Very, very comfortable in the situation that requires a strikeout.
Into right field, and there's a base hit. And they're going to hold up Buster Posey as Sanchez comes through.
That had to feel good for Madison Bumgarner. And he goes the opposite way to beat him. Little inside-out slice job. And when you hit it and you have average speed at best at second base, you are not going to take on Adam Eaton's arm. He's got a good one. And while Charles Nagy comes out to talk to Wade Miley, we're going to ask and answer our AT&T trivia question. The question today: name the 4 players in MLB history to win an MVP and then go on to win Manager of the Year award. Base hit. Don Baylor, Kurt Gibson, Frank Robinson, and Joe Torre.
You said great players couldn't make great managers. I didn't say that.
Those 4 guys right there proved it to be a bad saying. See what Kirk Gibson has done here. Done a nice job in Arizona.
Here's Peguero. And Peguero looks at a strike. An opportunity to add on here in the 4th. There's Don Baylor.
Well, baseball's really good guys right there.
Peguero rolled one to Hill. Hill made a nice barehanded play to throw him out. A ball and a strike. Center field, shallow. And making the diving catch is Pollock. Pollock ran 300 yards for that.
Well, and they say the toughest play of all is the one where you've got to come in and dive directly towards the hitter and have that ball lay out right in front of you. And this is a beautiful play. He broke back on the ball, did not get a good jump, but good speed to make up for it. And I'll tell you what, this is as good as it gets if you're an outfielder, and everybody has to hold their ground. Posey can't score.
So now Juan Perez can save the day, but he's going to have to do it with a base hit. Perez hit a fly ball to center field in the 3rd. And he takes in tight. Giants 1, Diamondbacks nothing here in the 4th inning. Outside with Crawford on deck. Hitters count for Perez. See if he gets something that he can drive. 2 balls and 1 strike, and he did not challenge him with a fastball. probably the biggest difference in this is flipped to right field. On the move is Eaton. He's going to slide and he's going to drop it. And what a great effort by Eaton, and he's down.
May have hit that wall with his knee, his left knee. I mean, that would have been an incredible play. We've seen some unbelievable glove work so far by these Diamondback outfielders. Still taking inventory off that left leg. Looked like Hunter Pence taking on a wall.
2-2 now to Perez. And this squirts away. Buster Posey is going to try to make it, and he will. And it's 2-0. I'm wondering at any point when Buster was going down the line, did he think that that was a bad idea?
Well, once you commit, you can't worry about that.
You start to go, I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah,
maybe not.
I'm going for it. And if Montero could have got a handle on it, they may have had a shot at it.
So it's 3-2 now to Perez. Sanchez moved down to second. And the walk, and Crawford's going to hit. .71 pitches now for Miley.
He's had to work hard the last couple of innings. This one especially.
So here's Crawford. Crawford with a line drive to left field, a base hit in the third.
And very quickly, because of the workload, Chaz Rowe starting to get heated up.
So it's 2-0 to Crawford. And a strike at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike. Now it's 2-2. So Crawford, you don't want to leave this up to Bumgarner, so Crawford's going to get a chance to knock in Sanchez. And he rolls this one foul. Giants have scored twice here in the 4th inning. Crawford flips it out to left. Bloomquist, side retired. Giants on the board twice. 5th inning coming up.
is brought to you by Provident Credit Union Super Reward Checking, a checking account that pays you.
Well, Saturday, September 28th, the second annual Yoga Day at the Park. It's a special event, and you need a package to be involved. A ticket to the game, post-game yoga session on the field, and the limited edition Giants Yoga Mat Bay. 415-972-2298. So Bumgarner now has a 2-0 lead. And he'll be facing Owings, Eaton, and Miley.
Trying to put up a shutdown inning.
Driven to right. Pence is there. And on one pitch, the young shortstop is retired.
That's a good start.
And that'll bring up Adam Eaton. Eaton rolled the ball to Abreu. Abreu made a nice play, made a really hard throw to first that Posey couldn't handle, and was credited with a hit.
That guy's a pretty generous hit.
I do too. First pitch high, 1 ball and no strikes.
Nailing that outside location with that fastball.
And Eaton pops this one over the backstop. It's 1-2. Bumgarner with 73 pitches. And it's just off the plate, 2-2. Bumgarner thought maybe he had a strike.
Good pitch.
Right back to where it came from. Out number 2.
That's the sound you want to hear when a guy makes contact off a pitch when you're throwing it. Yep, that's the sound.
That one was more towards the end of the bat.
Yeah. I'd like to have a CD of about 2 hours of listening to that. That is a good sound.
Here's Miley, who takes high. I got one. It's called my hitting tape. I'll let you use it. 1 ball and 1 strike.
But you forget I was there. Played 10 years and hit 270. You can hit.
2 of those fell in. Two balls and a strike. Two and 2.
Go right back up there again. Bumgarner likes to finish off left-handed hitting pitchers with breaking balls, however.
Well, Miley had a good rip at that fastball.
He's got a good swing. He can hit. He's got a big fly on the year.
And he got him a curveball to end the inning, his 8th strikeout. Giants are coming up. It'll be Bumgarner to lead things off. Friday. Payne says, well, it was just so close. He threw the ball unbelievable. He might have missed like 2 or 3 spots that he wanted to throw to all night. And that's pretty much unheard of. In some ways, he almost made it look way too easy because he was really dotting it up. It was a lot of fun to watch.
It was a lot of fun to watch. A night we will not soon forget.
Bumgarner off the end of the bat, foul.
Yusmeiro Petit, last 3 starts, 3-0.
Oh, 2 to Bumgarner. Arias to follow. And Bumgarner is gone. 1 out.
Nice curveball. A glorious September day in the Bay. And there is a lot going on around the Bay Area today.
Arias takes high. Arias is flied out and bounced out. Abreu is on deck, and the 2-0 pitch. And Arias rolls this one up the middle to Owings. Arias is gone. 2 outs for Abreu. Abreu reached on a walk in the 4th that opened up the inning, and he eventually scored the first run on the Hector Sanchez base hit. Here he fouls it out of play, 0-2.
Wave high. Mom, you're killing me.
Slowly hit. And that'll end the inning.
Great play.
It's 2-0. Gigantes. Company electrifying play of the week. Well, it's 3 plays. It's 3 swings. It's the 3 home runs for Pablo Sandoval in San Diego. There's one. Is it going to go? Yep. This one, is it going to go? Oh, yeah. And then the last one was very electrifying. 3 big flies in San Diego.
I don't know which one was the most impressive. Could have been the last one.
Here's Bloomquist. Bloomquist takes a bit high. He's 1 for 2. He's singled in the 3rd. Bumgarner with 0 walks and 8 strikeouts. Pollock is on deck. And it's 2-0.
He wants sunglasses. He's going to call timeout. Now, Blanco coming in to save the day.
You get the fastest guy on the bench to bring the glasses.
You know, and a lot of young players won't do that. I'll wait till after the inning, and then all of a sudden, boom, it costs them. Veteran move, call timeout, get your glasses.
Hit on the ground. Crawford on the backhand. 1 out.
Well, the Colorado Rockies are coming to town starting tomorrow night for a 3-game series, the September 9th through the 11th. The game on Wednesday is sold out. However, there are still tickets available for the Monday, Tuesday night games, which are both 7:15 starts. Go to sfgiants.com. Come on out. You might see a perfect game.
You never know. Pollock has doubled and he's hit a fly ball to right field. Then Penn's tracked down. He skies this one into left. It's in the park for Perez. 2 outs. And here's Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt is 0 for 2. He struck out and he's bounced out. And he takes a strike on the inside corner. .86 pitches for Bumgarner. This is wrapped foul.
That was a loud strike. That's a game right there. You get that many pins on your hat. That took you a few years to get.
Tom Hallion says no swing. Hunter Pence says swing. One and 2. Got him. 9 strikeouts. Buster Posey's going to lead things off.
reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of San Francisco Baseball Associates, LLC.
Welcome back to AT&T Park on an absolutely beautiful September afternoon. 2-0 Giants. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning, and Wade Miley getting set to work to Buster Posey, and quickly pours a fastball in for strike one. Posey 1 for 2 in the day, a double in the 4th inning, set up the Giants' 2-run inning, and that really has been the difference in this game.
We'll see some bullpen activity.
Gene Machi.
So 1-2 now to Buster Posey.
Really no need for Machi to get heated up unless there's something going on with Bumgarner. Bumgarner at 88 pitches at the end of the 6th inning.
Posey fouls it out of play. Well, that's an indication maybe that there is something going on.
They may have blistered up. They've had some tenderness somewhere. But I think he's out of the game.
Posey, base hit right field. Let's check in with Amy G. Amy.
All right, Dwayne, we're always talking about Giants in the community, where the Giants have one on their own team. Jeremy Affel, a hero, Friday night after the game, driving home with some friends to the East Bay, coming out of the Caldecott Tunnel. The 4 gentlemen saw a car in a ditch off to the side of the road, rolled down their window, and heard a woman screaming for help. They pulled over. The 4 of them, one of them happened to be a firefighter, were able to tear the door off the woman's car and pull her out to safety. They all stayed with her till an ambulance came and police arrived, and they received a voicemail from the woman's mother thanking them. And to the woman, Jeremy was glad that he could help and that you are okay, guys.
Oh yeah, he's a good man, that Jeremy Affel.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, and 1 to Pence. Pence double play ball. Hill, Owens double clutches, and they still get him. So it'll go 4-6-3. Pence hit it right on the nose. So Madison Bumgarner out of the game.
Well,
it may be manager's decision. We don't know.
Well, I know one thing. It's not anything to do with his arm. It's not an elbow or a shoulder problem. Otherwise, he'd be in the trainer's room. So he put the jacket on it.
Sanchez takes a strike.
And this time of year, with all the innings he's throwing, may just be he's coming out of the game.
And Sanchez has got another hit. He's going to stay at first with Eaton getting it back in quickly.
Two hits, 2 opposite field hits today for Sanchez.
So Peguero is bounced out and popped out as he rolls this one to short, and that'll end the inning. No runs, 2 hits, 1 left. 7th inning coming up. 2-0 Giants. Toyota dealer. Miley still in the ball game. 97 pitches. He's allowed a couple of earned runs. Bumgarner is out. No walks, 9 strikeouts. Sanchez has a couple of hits, and so does Buster Posey. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change tune-up and smog experts.
Gene Machi, the new pitcher for the Giants. 42nd time that Machi has come into a game. 2-1 with a 2.66 ERA. Last night pitched a third of an inning. Really has had a nice season. It's great when you hear Bruce Bochy not even being asked about Machi, just open up and say, you know, I like that guy. He has definitely arrived at the big league level, and he really paid his dues. I mean, he was in the minor leagues a long time. The difference for Machi now is that split finger fastball. It's a good one.
Facing Aaron Hill. And the pitch is outside, 1-0. Hill has struck out twice against Bumgarner. Of all the hitters in this lineup, Bumgarner and Montero, happy that Bumgarner's out. Outside corner for a call strike. On deck is Matt Davidson. 2-0 Giants. 2 balls and a strike. And the 2-1. 3 balls and 1 strike.
Man, this becomes a big pitch for Machi. Coming into a ball game and you protecting a 2-0 lead. The last thing you want to do is walk that first hitter. Javier Lopez heating up. The thing you don't have to worry about in September is overusing a bullpen.
And Hill fouls this one. It's 3-2.
3-1 split from Machi.
Three balls and 2 strikes. On the ground up the middle. Crawford. Off balance throw. Got him. And a nice play by Crawford and Posey.
And a nice comeback from Machi to get the 3-2 ground ball. Let's take a look at the range to the left of Crawford. And remember, Hill runs pretty well. And as you pointed out, nice job by Posey on the backside of this play, reaching across his body to a backhander and staying in contact with the bag.
So here's Davidson.
And that 1 out will definitely do wonders in relaxing Machi.
Davidson takes a strike. Oh, and 1 to Matt Davidson. And he skies this one out into left field. It'll be Peguero. And Peguero will put it away. The video game that puts you in the owner's suite is now available free on your iPhone and iPad. You can build your stadium, make the decisions to guide your team to the World Series. Data and usage rates may apply. So here's Montero. Montero struck out twice. Two outs, nobody on. Giants on top 2-0. Out of play, 0-2.
He's got that split working. See the protective piece over the ring finger of Buster Posey's right hand. Hey, it's allowed him to play today. I know it made 41,050 people happy.
Yes, it did. High to Montero. Santiago Casilla joins Lopez in the bullpen for the Giants. 2-2. And the 2-2 pitch. Out of play.
And when he's got a good feel of that thing, you're going to see a lot of them. And the thing that makes his different is it doesn't have as much spin as other splits have. He really chokes that thing deep into his fingers. And the deeper you go into your fingers, the harder it is to control. But with Machia, it has not been a problem. He can get that thing in the strike zone just about any time he wants.
Montero strikes out for the third time in today's game. Bottom of the 7th coming up, and it'll be Juan Perez to lead things off.
Brought to you by Xfinity, home of the most live sports.
2-0 Giants. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. Time now for our AT&T U-Burst Rewind. And if you like great relays, well, last night was a great game for you to watch. And we're going to take a look at a ball that gets cut off from going into the gap by Pagan. Now watch how he throws off balance, and he somehow gets it to Crawford, who squares up and throws a bullet to Hector Sanchez, and Will Nieves is shot down trying to score from first. And that is our AT&T U-verse rewind. You cannot run it any better than that. And what do you say we go down to Amy G?
Hey, Mike, we have your favorite webisode, Maybe, brought to you by Acura. It's ready at csnbayarea.com. I sit down with Brandon Belt this time. He talks about the return of Angel Pagan and what it's meant to this team. He also says it's his fault that Yusmeiro Petit did not author a perfecto. Find out why. csnbayarea.com. Maybe. Mike and Dwayne.
All right, Amy. Yeah, there are a lot of people that took the blame for Eric Chavez getting that hit. Run into somebody, they'll go, I left the seat, I did this, went to the store. Trying to figure out what this guy is doing.
Hell, dude, there's a game going on. Take a hike. Hey, he had to get the shot. It looks important.
There's a strike to Perez. Perez has flied out and walked. Hit out to right field for Eaton, and Eaton up against the second archway puts it away.
You know, you see those cameras on the field. There, you go back in baseball history and look at some of those games in the 30s, 40s. They had the camera, the photographers, right almost at home plate.
Like they were on the field in Cleveland when I played.
Really?
Yes, they were allowed on the field.
And you're old.
Here's Crawford. Crawford takes a strike. But in some of the old pictures you see back in the 30s, they were only about 10 to 15 feet away from the umpire and hitter.
Well, those are the ones that I'm talking about. You know?
Didn't seem to bother him.
And this is back when the hitters didn't wear helmets. I mean, the world did not fear anything back then.
Sure didn't. Crawford, a nice at bat in the third inning when he lined a single into left field.
Chaz Rowe, second hump that he's gotten today. How times have changed. We always talk about a picture we see in St. Louis about Sportsman Park. It was taken in the 30s. And you look at the stands and everybody was wearing a hat. That's because there were no women.
Crawford bounces this one slowly to Goldschmidt, and Crawford may beat it out. No, they get him by less than a half a step.
I don't know if Brandon Crawford agreed with Tom Hallion. Pretty good lead, and that was a tie. Doesn't Tom Hallion know a tie goes the runner?
Yeah. At least in our booth.
At least on the playground.
So here's Pill. Brett Pill pinch hitting for Machi.
Saw some of the sombreros in our stands today. Those were giveaway hats last night. And really today is the day you need those sombreros.
That's a fact.
Yeah, they're styling. You put that hat on, it's going to make you smile.
Pill dribbles this one foul. It's 1-2.
So the game has changed in a very positive way. We've got helmets, ball dudes, big screens, and gamer babes.
And that.
And that.
Pill takes low, 2-2.
Brett Pill. Stormtrooping.
On the ground to Owens. And that'll end the inning. So Miley finishing strong. We will head to the 8th. It'll be Owens to lead things off. Happened in 1990. Matt Williams, our old friend, crushes a walk-off home run in the 10th for a 2-1 win over the Astros. It was Matt's second home run of the day and 5th two-homer game of the season. Giants won 2-1. Matt Williams went 2 for 5 in that game. Kelly Downs started. He went 9 innings, 3 hits, a run, a walk, a strikeout, and no decision. Bedrock, Steve Bedrosian pitched an inning, and he got the win. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts.
Santiago Casilla coming in to pitch the 8th inning. He has been the setup man this year. 5-2 with a 1.56 ERA. So they had a great season and had knee surgery in the middle of the season.
They did. Owens is struck out and lined out. Here he takes a fastball high. Are they done for the day?
Hey, America's Cup is done for the day. Oracle going back to Pier 80 and split. They got their first win today. They lost the first race to New Zealand and they won the second one, so they're on the board.
Hit out to right field. Pence coming in, and he's going to have to play it on a hop as Owens just dumped it. So Owens with a leadoff single, and that'll bring up Eaton.
So congratulations to Team USA. And they'll get a better night's sleep after having been swept yesterday in day 1 of the America's Cup. They lost 2 races.
Eaton, an infield hit in the 3rd, and he hit one back to Bumgarner in the 5th. Here he takes a fastball for a strike, and it's 0-1. See, Gerardo Parra is on deck. Look out, and that one goes to the backstop.
Not a whole lot Hector Sanchez could do with that. Just a flat out wild pitch. Some are a little more wild than others. That's pretty wild.
Stay tuned immediately after Giants baseball for Esurance Giants postgame live highlights, reaction analysis. It's all coming up right after the game. One ball and one strike to Adam Eaton. So Owens at second with nobody out. Look out. That whistled into the seats and came right back from out underneath the second deck.
Everybody's okay. They're all smiling. Yep, we have a winner. Give it to the gamer, babe. And he did.
Two and two on the high fastball. Giants will be at home tomorrow night against the Colorado Rockies. The Diamondbacks will be in Los Angeles. That's rolled foul. We'll be in LA tomorrow, Tuesday and Wednesday, all night games. It is busy out in the Cove. There's, for whatever reason, it's the place to be.
Well, I think all these boats were out watching the America's Cup, and now they say, well, let's go check out AT&T. And here they are.
Eaton continues to spoil Santiago's pitches.
And there is the winner of race 2, heading back to Pier 80.
Two balls and two strikes.
Pretty good battle going on right here.
Oh, nice.
You made mention of a fact earlier in the broadcast yesterday about Adam Eaton's game, and we're talking about the importance of the leadoff hitter, how long it takes for a guy to truly learn that position in the lineup. And you pointed out that he had a great tutor while he was playing in Reno. Brett Butler, the manager of the Reno team, the AAA affiliate with Arizona, and he had Eaton all last year. And he does so many things to remind you of Brett Butler. Gives you the same kind of a bat.
Well, he's given one of those at bats right now. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Three and two. Base hit, left field. And Piguero did a really stupid thing. He threw the ball to third.
And that's a mistake you cannot make in a 2-run game. He just gave Eaton a free gift of 90 feet. Now the Diamondbacks have 2 runners in scoring position. That ball should have been caught. It should have been gone, thrown right to the second baseman, or whoever it was that was covering second base. And he never even looked over there. Now, why is he throwing to third? And that's just a mental mistake. You saw Arias pointing to second, and even through that, Piguero threw to Arias. And that changes everything.
Well, you have to figure out where you're going to throw the ball before it happens. Here's Chavez who takes a strike.
Strikeout situation now for Casilla. And very quickly, George Cantos and Javier Lopez heading down to the bullpen.
Chavez asks for time. It may be my imagination, but I've seen a lot of our bullpen guys really slow things down as of late.
Well, that's a fact. Guys who are really slow workers: Moscoso, Rosario, Machi, Casilla.
One ball and one strike. Pence is going to catch. It's going to score a run. It's also going to move Eaton to third. And it's a 2-1 ball game.
Nice at bat. That's exactly what the situation called for.
So now the throw to third instead of to second gives you an idea of how important it was for Eaton to be able to get into second base.
Well, and those are mistakes that you make in rookie league, not at the big league level. With as many one-run ball games as the Giants play and have played, by the time you get up here, you have to know you cannot make those mistakes.
Here's Blomquist. Blomquist with the tying run at third.
I mean, 90-foot mistakes are big because it changes how you have to pitch a guy, how you have to play a guy. I mean, you're watching the defense set up now. In this scenario, the Giants are pulling in the infield. So that increases the ability for Blomquist to get a ball through the infield. And all that because of a mental mistake.
Hit on the ground of Crawford on the backhand. He'll get the out at first. So Blomquist cannot get it done, and now it's left up to Pollock.
Now all of a sudden that mistake is not as bad because of the fine backhander. Just nice soft hands. Checks the runner at third, squares up and shoots down Blomquist. Nice pick.
So here's Pollock. Pollock is 1 for 3. He doubled over the third base bag in the first. And it's down low. 1 ball and no strikes. Foul. Did that get Sanchez?
It did. Got him in the mask.
It's an epidemic.
You know, I never really thought too much about it until Mike Matheny went down and really ended his career.
Well, yeah, we're talking about he's played a game in Miami, and then he never played another game in his life. That was it.
That was it.
I mean, we're not talking about a broken leg. He got hit while he was at the plate. Two balls and a strike. Yeah, now we think about it all the time. By the way, speaking of Mike Matheny, the Cardinals beat up on the Pirates pretty good today, 9-2. 2-1 pitch. Casillas a pitch away from going after Goldschmidt. I'm not sure that's what he wants to do.
It is not what he wants to do. You do not want to take on the league's leading RBI guy.
3-2.
Yeah, it looked like Pollock was taken all the way. He didn't really load that back leg in anticipation of that fastball. I mean, with a 3-1 count, and you've got Goldschmidt on deck, you got to figure you're going to see something pretty good, and he did.
That's a foul straight back, and we'll do it again.
Yeah, Casillas slipped right there at the end as he planted his stride step. Watch what happens after he plants. Some slippage there. A little bit of an ankle twist.
Three and two. Hit up the middle, and this is going to tie the game. So Pollock comes through with a 2-out base hit. And that'll bring up Goldschmidt. So the sad news on this is it's a no decision for Bumgarner. And here's Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt is 0 for 3. And that pitch is down low. 1 ball and no strikes. The Potomac has made a visit. A lot of things going on.
Busy day in the Bay.
Busy day.
Potomac, one of John Miller's favorite boats.
Two and 0 to Goldschmidt. There's the Potomac.
A lot of history on that boat. FDR's boat.
Giants threw a great, as Dave Righetti comes out, a great party for John Miller the week of his induction into Cooperstown, and the party was thrown on that boat. It was a great luncheon. And it would only be fitting that it would be on that vessel, because John loves that boat.
It's John, Dave Fleming, and Lee Jones, our radio engineer and producer.
Stay tuned for the post-game wrap. That's going to come up just after the game, and Mike will also talk about the game with Murph and Mac tomorrow morning on KNBR.
See Javier Lopez on the side. He was warming up, and very quickly Sergio Romo went down there to get heated up. So there are no left-handers due up, and if this inning gets extended, they may bring Romo in to try and preserve the tie. If they were to put a left-hander up, then they might leave Javier Lopez in a situation where he would come in. So they kind of have him in a holding pattern down there by the tarp.
So it's 2 balls and a strike to Goldschmidt, and again Casilla steps off. I don't think that Casilla is very comfortable today. Runner goes, and that's going to be an easy stolen base. Just watch a guy, Mike, that takes more time than he usually does. And it just doesn't make things look right with him out there.
Yeah. It's hard to go out there and find a rhythm every day. So they're going to steer clear of Goldschmidt. And that may be it for Casilla.
When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change tune-up and smog experts.
New pitcher now for the Giants is their closer, Sergio Romo. Romo has had a solid season, 33 saves on the year. This is not a save opportunity. 4-6 with a 2.55 ERA. Two types of fastball, a 4-seamer and a 2-seamer. Big sweeping slider and a changeup. Go get him.
Facing Aaron Hill. Hill is 0 for 4 lifetime. It's coming into this series. And he shoots this one right at Buster Posey, and that's going to end the inning. So the D-backs tie it up.
game 1 of the 3-game series of the Colorado Rockies. You'll see it right here on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area with the Giants pregame live starting at 6:30. The home of your world champion Giants is Comcast Sportsnet. Here it's 2-2 as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning.
When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts.
David Hernandez, the new pitcher now for the Diamondbacks. Big right-hander. 5.36 ERA this year. Has not been a stellar season for him as we have seen in the past. Still throws hard. He'll throw a fastball that goes low to high 90s at times. Big curveball and a changeup.
So 2 quick strikes to Joaquin Arias, who's looking for his first hit today. And this is a thing.
Oh, shot. It's that easy.
Impossible to drop a ball between Hill and Eaton, and Arias just did.
And this is just a little half swing, and watch this thing of beauty. You talk about a dead bird, that is it. And what do the White Sox call him?
Good hitting.
Duck snorts. Good hitting. Hawk Harrelson.
Here's Abreu.
Describes that swing of the bat as good as anybody in baseball.
Abreu shows bunt, and he takes very high. He's not an easy guy to bunt off of. Anybody that throws high fastballs, you really, as a hitter, have to force yourself to make him get that ball down.
Should go down the first base line.
And that's what Abreu has to do. You have to take that high fastball.
Well, that's what you're taught to do as a pitcher, to throw the high fastball, because it is the one that gets popped up. But right now, Kirk Gibson's grinding. He needs his pitcher to throw a strike.
And a quick toss, and Arias is back. Mr. Posey on deck. Two balls and one strike.
95-mile-an-hour fastball right on the outside corner, and no bunt attempt there from Abreu. And you might see Bruce Bochy put it back on, because Abreu was late, and that's the third fastball he's seen.
Hernandez to Hill, and Arias to second.
So indeed, at a 2-1 pitch, the bunt sign went back on, and Abreu getting the job done.
All right, let's check in with Amy G. Amy?
All right, gentlemen, congratulations to Class A San Jose in the postseason again. In fact, they've set a California League record, making the playoffs 10 consecutive seasons. They opened up a best-of-5 series, Northern Division Series last night, and they lost, but fans can still support them tonight at Municipal Stadium. First pitch, 6 o'clock. Get all the info, sjgiants.com.
All right, and good luck to that group. Here's Buster Posey. And a strike to Buster Posey.
95 right in the inside corner. So as he was either looking for something soft or he was looking middle away, but he was not looking fastball middle in.
Nothing in 2.
95 it right through him. One of the best fastball hitting Giants is in that batter's box right now. And you could even include him as one of the best fastball hitters in all of baseball. Speed does not really impress Mr. Posey, but that ball was by him.
Pops this one up. Eaton in right field. He'll put it away. And that'll bring up Hunter Pence. Pence looking for his first hit today. He's 1 for 5 lifetime against David Hernandez.
So Kirk Gibson going to come out and talk about how he wants Pence pitched. I mean, there's that much concern. They have an open base and they could walk him and take on Hector Sanchez. To set the outfielders and their arm strength, you've really got one above average arm, and that's in right field with Adam Eaton. It's a good one. Pollock and Bloomquist average.
I mean, I don't know if Kirk Gibson's going to make a change here or not. But if Fernandez stays in there, I don't know. Hector Sanchez has had some pretty good at bats.
Yeah, he's been swinging it well lately. But I mean, what you look at is Sanchez, a switch hitter, hitting 348 from the right side, hitting 235 from the left side. So I do believe they're going to leave him in there to pitch to him.
So Pence draws the walk.
And I think that maybe is why he went out there. He wanted to explain that to Hernandez.
Hector Sanchez has 1 at bat lifetime against Hernandez, and he doubles. And the bat is fair. The ball is foul.
Well, if the broken bat head throw was an Olympic event, he'd been a medal winner right there with that effort. That was impressive. You talking about getting a guy's kitchen.
Well, in that particular case, better the bat be fair than the ball. So it's 0-1 to Hector Sanchez with the lead run at second base and Joaquin Arias. Oh, and 2.
96 out of the strike zone up, and Hector Sanchez is coming out of his shoes. And that's where you pitch a low ball hitter. You pitch him up. And they go right back up there. Keep climbing that ladder.
Right down the middle, and that'll end the inning. 9th inning coming up. It'll happen today at 5:30 right here on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. It'll be Brody Brazil and Henry Wolford. They'll be the hosts. You'll see full coverage of the Packers-Niners game. Raiders report from Indy. And the fellows will check out the Major League Baseball playoff races. A lot going on today here in the Bay Area. It's a 2-2 ball game. It'll be Matt Davidson to lead things off. Davidson is 1 for 3. No swing. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Montero and then Owings are your 3 scheduled hitters against Romo. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Good slider. Well, a little one who had the all-day sucker and the baseball, she's gone, but the sucker remains.
She wanted to leave a gift to the Seagulls. 2 balls and 1 strike. Three and 1. So the kid, Davidson, is going to get a chance to look at a 3-1 pitch here from Sergio Romo. And the walk.
A rare walk from Romo. And worse than that, it's a leadoff walk. And those are the walks that do haunt.
So here's Montero. Montero has struck out 3 times. Tony Campana is going to pinch run.
Well, Hector Sanchez, be on your toes. Because Campana's in it for one reason. He's going to try and steal. At good speed.
Outside to Montero.
Romo will give you a chance if you're a catcher to throw a run around. He's pretty quick out of the stretch. And Hector Sanchez of late has been throwing well. He was in a slump throwing early in the year when he was really bothered by some shoulder problems. The throws are gone. And he's got a good arm. It's a plus arm.
Quick toss, Campana back. Crawford, Abreu at double play depth. Outside 2-0. So Romo in a bit of a funk right now. He goes off the side of the mound.
Just not used to seeing him struggle with getting balls in the strike zone. He's had impeccable command his whole career.
And Montero, a big healthy rip. 2 balls and 1 strike.
And he helped him out. That ball was down below the strike zone. But for Montero, who's a natural low ball hitter, you saw that thing start down around the knees and his eyes got big.
Campana has got a good lead. And Buster Posey. We just had a chat with Romo. We're going to get Sergio Romo to at least flip a couple of the balls over there. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. They got him picked off. And Posey's going to tag him out. It's the longest walk in the world right now for Campana.
You can imagine you're a rookie and they're going to pinch hit you because you're a base stealer. 2-2 game, leadoff walk. All the momentum of the world just got blown up. He was going to go on first move. No, I don't remember a guy getting picked off that bad in a while.
Montero down the right field line. That's a fair ball. It caroms right to Pence. And Pence does a great job of getting it back in.
So how do you think Campana's feeling about now?
He's in tears. No. Look, I've been there, so I know the feeling is Owings stands in, so Montero comes up with a hit.
Did it happen to you your rookie year?
It did.
See, that's one of those rookie mistakes that never happens again in your career.
Yeah, you never take another lead in your life yet. It's 0-1 to Owings.
I saw it happen in Philadelphia. Rick Bosetti, who was a guy who played ball with in AAA. He played for Okie City, the Phillies AAA club. They both get called up in that September 1976. And Rick Russell was pitching. There's base hit. Time. Here comes Bosetti. He's going to pitch run. He had about a 3-foot lead. And he got picked off. Oh, man. It was in Philadelphia. There was about 50,000 people. There was the loudest boo I'd ever heard in my life.
0-2 to Owings. Owings, no chance. That's what you don't see in AAA.
Well, you don't see many of these no-dot sliders with this type of command really anywhere. And until you've had a few at-bats off Sergio Romo, you are way disadvantaged.
Especially if you're a right-handed hitter.
Indeed.
Here's Eaton. And a strike to Eaton.
It's rocking the sombrero, cowboy style.
Montero with hardly a lead at all at first. And a swing and a miss, 0-2. To Eaton as the crowd gets into it. And that's hit on the ground to Abreu. And this will end the inning. So the Giants now looking to win it. It'll be Fidel, Perez, and Crawford. Bottom of the ninth. And here's our new pitcher.
Going to be Will Harris, the right-hander now for the D-backs. 52nd time he's come in. Really has been a great story. Talk about this guy had been waived right at the end of spring training by the A's, and the Diamondbacks picked him up, and he got called up because of some injuries, and he has never left that bullpen. And you can see the numbers. He's had a quality season. Doesn't throw that hard, low 90s, but with a really good curveball, changeup, cutter combination.
Prado is now at third, and Blanco is the pinch hitter. Angel Pagan is now in the on-deck circle. So here's Blanco. And a strike to Blanco. 252 average for Gregor Blanco. Been swinging the bat a lot better lately. And it's in tight as Blanco shows bunt. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, I think everybody here would like to celebrate the walk-off.
If they would. Down low, close pitch, 2 balls and 1 strike. So Blanco trying to work his way on any way he can. And it's high, so it's 3-1.
Showing all the patience in the world.
Three and 2. I think sometimes moving around, Mike, actually hurts you as a hitter because it may change your strike zone a little bit.
Well, you stand upright, and a lot of umpires think you're trying to bait them, and they resent that. They'll call a pitch that's close.
Foul back.
Sometimes they'll call a pitch on you that isn't close. But he clearly was taken all the way prior to that 3-2 pitch.
Little pop up into center field. This is going to fall.
Well, that's the second time today we've seen Pollock break back on a ball. And we saw him make a great play earlier. He was able to recover. This time he could not. So a leadoff single, and the Giants have some action.
Yeah, the double could thud though, Mikey. Pollock plays a little deeper than most, and then if you break back. So here's Pagan.
It is a bunt situation, but there's no guarantee you're going to get a bunt out of Pagan. A lot of options here. I mean, you've got good speed with Blanco. Montero, the catcher, throws very well. Harris, pretty quick out of the stretch.
And a breaking ball for a strike.
That's a good hook right there. That's a 12-6 over the top hook.
Uh-oh. 0-1. In at third is Prado. Pagan 1 for 3 lifetime against Hernandez. He may be taking a shot at that hole between Goldschmidt and Hill. And another breaking ball. This one of the slower variety, and it's 1-1.
Backed it up. That was not that easy of a take either. Especially after you watch the previous one drop in the strike zone.
One ball and one strike. And it's 1-2.
3 pitches, 3 curves. So now you make a 2-strike adjustment.
Blanco with his lead. He goes. Swinging a bouncing ball, slowly hit. It'll be Hill. He'll throw out Pagan, and Blanco is now in scoring position. And here's Brandon Crawford. So Crawford stepping up, 1 for 3. And a little pop-up down the left field line, and it's going to fall.
Owens came out of nowhere, made that play close. I didn't think he had any kind of chance at all when he first took out after it. You see where Owens was. I mean, he would just come back very close to the bag and almost caught up to it. Good speed with Blanco at second. The best arm in right for the D-backs.
And that pitch is high. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. On deck is Pablo Sandoval.
Tim Flannery, before every series and really every day, he'll remind his players as to who has the best arms in the outfield, what to anticipate should you be in a scoring position.
Out of play, 1-2. Watching Owens and Hill, they are literally not paying a whole lot of attention to Gregor Blanco. Owens is now taking a peek at him. Now he is. Crawford fouls it back.
Pretty good pitch to hit there in the 1-2 count. I mean, that was a pretty healthy fastball to have a rip at, 92, but it was right over the middle of the plate. That's the location, and that's right in his wheelhouse. He likes that ball up. He likes it middle away.
And another 1-2 pitch, and Crawford hits it to right. Eaton's going to track it down, and Blanco's going to tag, and he's going to go to third. And here's Sandoval, and probably likely Sandoval's not going to hit.
Yeah, he's thinking. He looks over and sees Joaquin Arias on deck, but he also knows that Brandon Belt is in that Giants dugout. He has 2 bases to play with. And I would bet that they would use one right here for Sandoval. He's been hot from the left side.
So this will be an intentional walk to Sandoval. So here's Arias. Arias flipped a little single into right field for his only hit. He did that in his last at bat. He's 1 for 4.
The other thing, too, now, you saw the break on the curveball from Harris. It's a straight downer. He throws a lot of balls in the dirt. The pressure on Montero. And if he drops that curveball on home plate, you never know what it's going to do because of the big 12-6 break on it.
Sandoval goes. Nobody cares. And that gets the biggest roar of the day. So it's 1 ball and no strikes. On the ground to Owings. Not a shocker. We're going extra innings. It's 2-2. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change tune-up and smog experts.
So George Contos now assumes the responsibility of trying to put a 0 up on the top of the 10th. And this is what he has done in 44 games. 2-2 with a 4.91 ERA. Fastball, it's low 90s with a slider. And pretty much what you see, he's got 2 other pitches, but he throws them so infrequently that you don't really concern yourself with him. That's a changeup and a curveball. For the most part, slider, fastball, go get it.
Blanco's in left. And Pagan is now in center field. So Prado's going to lead things off. First at bat for Prado. He came in on a double switch, but he's been a red hot player the second half of the season.
Guys have pitched him well this series, just 1 for 8.
And a strike, and it's no balls and 1 strike. Top of the order in Bloomquist. He's on deck. And that's out of play, 0-2.
There you see Bloomquist representing the top of the lineup.
Down low, 1-2.
Prado hits the ball all over the place, and the Giants are defending him accordingly, straight up.
On the ground to Arias at third. And that's out number 1 here in the 10th. And here's Bloomquist. Bloomquist is 1 for 4. That's a good family of orange right there.
They wear it well. Some wear t-shirts, some wear dresses.
And that's the one that has the best attitude of them all.
I think so.
She's got the attitude walk.
She's got the walk. That's exactly what it is.
So she has the easiest ability to sneak into better seats. Bloomquist takes high, 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, at that age, looking like that, she can sit anywhere she wants. No usher or usherette is going to ask her to move. She's completely bulletproof.
Hit to left. Blanco can't get it. And Bloomquist is going to head into second base with a double.
And this thing got out to left field in a hurry. Not a whole lot that Blanco could do. I mean, that ball just stroked. So with Bloomquist's speed, a 1-out double, and the Diamondbacks get a runner in score position.
Pollock tied the game up with a 2-out base hit in the 8th inning. So here he stands in, trying to give the Diamondbacks the lead. And the first pitch is down low, 1 ball and no strikes. Giants scored 2 in the bottom of the 4th. The Diamondbacks scored 2 in the top of the 8th. Two and 0.
I just think he's nibbling a little bit with Goldschmidt on deck. If you lose Pollock to a walk here because you're nibbling, you're really asking for trouble with Goldschmidt, because you don't have a base. I mean, I know there's an open third base, but you can't walk a guy, Goldschmidt, to set up a runner at third base with less than 2 outs. So this should be a pretty good pitch here for Pollock. He's got to get in that strike zone.
It's 3-0. Now Jake Dunning is jogging down the left field line.
Canto's digging a hole here, down the count 3-0.
And he comes back in with a strike. Hawk will not take another one if he likes it. It's 3-1.
You can't even think corner when you set your target up. If you're Hector Sanchez, you got to put it right behind the middle of the plate. This is when it's good to be hitting in front of a guy like Goldschmidt.
3-2.
And a nice fastball challenge. And he needs to do it again.
Lead runners at second base. Three balls and two strikes. And he popped him up. Hunter Pence in right field. 2 outs.
Yeah, that's a nice comeback for Cantos. Now they can use that base for Goldschmidt and put the pressure on a pinch hitter. When you're a catcher and you play first, when you want to relax, you just get down the squat. Home sweet home.
Well, probably like sitting in a chair, right?
Yeah.
So the meeting on Goldschmidt is over with. Hill is not a day at the beach either, but it will be Hill. So the matchup will be Aaron Hill. Canto's having a hard time with these pitches out of the strike zone intentionally.
Well, some guys have problems with that throw, just like catching a comebacker and throwing to first.
Watch this.
They can't just throw it as hard as they can. Sometimes they get that soft toss and they lose a feel of the release point. Top in there.
So everything under control. His Hill's going to come up. At second, Bloomquist. At first is Goldschmidt. Hill is 0 for 4. And the pitch is a strike, and it's 0-1.
So a nice first get it in slider. And a quick 0-1.
Hill is 2 for 4 lifetime against Cantos.
And this is a situation where he does have an open base now. With 2 outs and you have nobody at third base. You can use it if you want it. Pitch hitter in the on deck circle.
And he runs that pitch in tight to even the count.
The pitcher spot in the lineup on deck. And this is where you want to be if you're Cantos. Got a free pass and just make nasty pitches. Do not have to just give in to Hill. Think corner, think 0-2 in your mind every pitch. Like that.
Buster Posey is going to knock it down and flip. And they got him. No! They're going to say Cantos missed the bag.
I think Tom Hallion made a blow in this one. A little bobble there, but a nice toss.
Yeah, he's going to ask the home plate umpire if he saw it, because clearly he stepped on the bag. And he knows, you're right, he knows that he missed this one. So they get the call right, and that'll end the inning. And that's all you can ask for. So, for the Giants, they will have Abreu, Posey, and Pence coming up. Change things speedy. Oil change and tune-up. Your oil change tune-up in Smog Experts.
Heath Bell, the new pitcher now for the Diamondbacks, and you see what he has done in 62 games. 5-2 with a 4.66 ERA. And he can be very, very good, and he can be very, very not so good. 15 saves as he was the closer, but 7 Malone saves, and he lost that role to Brad Ziegler. And we're going to take a look at this play one more time that ended it for the Diamondbacks. And you can clearly see that Cantos did indeed touch the base. With the heel. And one more look just to stay in shape. Well, I'm glad they huddled it up and got it right. Gibson, however, to the showers early.
Here's Abreu facing Heath Bell.
He may have said the magic word.
0-2, 0-3. And a strike to Abreu.
Heath Bell, you're going to see a fastball that goes low to mid-90s. Curveball, a good one. And a changeup.
Abreu pops this one foul. And now it's 0-2. So it's 0-2 to Tony Abreu, who's going to try to lead things off by getting on base. And he's going to lift it to left, but it's right at Bloomquist, 1 out. So here's Buster Posey. Buster Posey with a couple of hits. And he hooks this one foul down the left field line. It's no balls and 1 strike. Down low, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Bell's got kind of a little funkiness to his delivery. Kind of jumps at the hitter.
Down low, 2-1.
And there's the curveball. Posey saw that early. So Montero, not liking something, going to go out and talk about it a bit.
Buster Posey trying to reach for Hunter Pence. It's 3-1.
The troops are on the front railing. And this ought to be a pretty good pitch to hit.
And he threw him a hook, so it's 3-2. And now you don't ever quite know what you're going to get.
Well, that's a good 3-1 pitch. I mean, he knew he had to get in the strike zone, and Mr. Posey's certainly not sitting on a big curveball.
Check swing roller foul. So if anything, Buster Posey spoils a good pitch.
You know, that was the best fastball he's thrown in the sequence. The location-wise, for sure.
On the ground, Goldschmidt knocks it down, and they got him. So a nice play by Goldschmidt. 2 outs.
Well, he hit that ball hard. Came at it with a 3-2 fastball and stayed inside it. Just a one-hop bullet that eats up Goldschmidt. And he almost throws it over the head of Bell, but they do prevail. Nice play.
So here's Pence. Pence today is 0 for 3 with a walk.
And Heath Bell, as we've so often seen him do, just pounding that outside corner with that fastball.
One ball and 1 strike.
And that one tailed back in the middle. Have to change the grip on it through a 2-seamer.
Out of play, 1-2.
94-mile-an-hour fastball.
So it's 1-2. Very high and overthrow. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I don't know how Montero caught that thing. I don't think he knows how he caught that thing. In a squat all day long, and now you got to come up and you got to cover it. 2-strike count. That's when you feel like he's taking that arm right out of his socket.
A play for Montero. And he puts it away right on top of the on-deck circle, and that'll end the inning. 11th inning coming up. '24th, and it's good news. There are 3 midweek night games. They all start at 7:15. Go to sfgiants.com/dynamic deal to take advantage of the dynamically priced Dodger game tickets. It's a 2-2 ball game here in the 11th. Santos remains in the game. And Will Nieves is going to pinch hit.
Which means that George Santos is going to get to see another hitter. Giants have Javier Lopez down in their bullpen, and he's thinking about one guy. He's thinking about Miguel Montero.
Pitching line for Deep Bell, 1 inning, the rest is 1 inning altered.
So here's Nieves. Comes in with an average of over 300. He's at 308. And he takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Outfield straightaway for Nieves. And he hits one on the ground to Arias at third. And Arias will throw him out.
And here comes Bruce Bochy.
So Santos does a nice job as he wiggled out of trouble in the 10th. And Javi Lopez coming in, and we'll be back. They got about a half an hour before it's going to get rough. So it'll be Montero facing Javi Lopez.
There you see his numbers. He's had an incredible year. 61st time he's come in. 34 2/3 innings. So a lot of times he's come into existing innings and he's faced one or two guys. This will be one of those times.
Montero, you got to be careful. One swing of the bat.
And in games like this, I mean, he will definitely let out some shaft, especially with count leverage. And he's got it now, sitting on a 2-0 count.
The rook Owens is on deck. And it's 2-1.
That was a strike he needed to get.
Big time.
Nice pitch.
Two and two.
Yeah, Montero's thinking, I've seen that one before. These two very familiar with one another.
He's going to see it again.
Yes, he is.
Got him. However, that was a fastball.
You know, and it's to the point where you almost take Javier Lopez for granted. And that's how good he's been. He's just been automatic. And that's strikeout number 4 on the day for Montero.
Here's Owens, the young shortstop for these Diamondbacks.
Montero should have had that 4 strikeout game last night. Guys gave out 20,000 sombreros. He could have got one.
Oh my goodness. Extra innings, you're on fire. 1 ball and no strikes.
There's just so many sombreros around, you know.
Tried to backdoor him. It's 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, that's a hat.
That is a hat. Little foul down the right field line and out of play. So it's 2-1. Oh, that guy may have some cattle.
She may have some cattle.
I mean, I can't get on him.
No.
Base hit into center field. So Owens is aboard. And that means Eaton's going to hit.
Now, Eaton last night in a bat against Javier Lopez, he tried to bunt in an 0-2 count. See a guy do that, he's telling you that I don't see this guy at all.
Nope.
And here he is, getting a chance to face him again today. And very quickly, Jake Dunning heading down to the bullpen. It won't take him long. This is his second hump.
And Lopez will check on Owens.
Really, and why not send Owens? With what the Diamondbacks saw last night from Eaton hitting against Lopez, steal him.
Outside. And you're right, you don't have a lot to lose. If you get to the 12th, then you've got this guy leading off. Not bad strategy.
And there's a chance that Lopez might not be in the game if it gets to the 12.
A 2-2 tie. We're in the 11th. Two and 0. The guy you really want to avoid is the guy on deck, and that's Prado.
And that's why Jake Dunning is down in the Giants bullpen. Dunning, the right-hander, thinking about Prado.
And a step off and a soft toss. Two balls, no strikes. Speed at first, speed at the plate. There's the bunt. Lopez spins and throws, and they got him. And that'll end the inning. Hector Sanchez is going to lead things off. And that's the lefty, and it's Joe Thatcher.
And he's got some massive funkiness, big crossover step, sidearm delivery, and runs up there pretty good velocity-wise. You see his numbers. 67th game he's been in. He's 3-1 on the year with a 3.13 ERA. Just about a strikeout an inning, and does as well against righties as it does against lefties.
So it'll be Hector Sanchez to lead things off. Giants had an opportunity in the 9th to win it. They did not get a base runner on in the 10th, and now they'll try to do it here in the 11th. And Hector Sanchez with a bit of a half swing, and it's no balls and one strike. And Sanchez fouls this one back. It's 0-2 with Gregor Blanco on deck. Giants need a base runner. Sanchez waiting, and it's high and away. 1-2.
Nothing orthodox about taking an at bat off of Thatcher.
Foul back. He waited nicely on that one. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Out of play again. So the more pitches that Sanchez sees, the better odds he's got of squaring something up.
He's definitely getting more balance into his swings.
On the ground towards the hole and a base hit.
Good at that.
You guard the line in this situation, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but when you do, it opens up that hole. And we're going to get a pinch runner. Is that Adrianza?
It is.
You know what my advice to him would be?
Don't get picked off. I think that's good advice. We saw it earlier with Tony Campana, the rookie who pinch ran for the Diamondbacks, got picked off. So I would say that's good advice.
I mean, look, you got a lefty out on the mound. Just stay put, kid.
Bunt situation here for Blanco. I don't think he has any problems with that.
And he lays down a good bunt. And they're going to go to second. And he's safe. Montero took a gamble. And the only thing interesting about this is I don't think Phil Cuzzy saw it. Watch Phil Cuzzy.
He's the second base umpire. And I can see what Montero's thinking. He's safe. And nobody's arguing.
No, and the call's the right call. And he may have saw the very end of it, but he got spun around.
So an interesting decision here. I mean, conventionally you would say it's a bunt situation. But if you do that, then you're going to have Thatcher facing the left-handed hitting Crawford. So decision time for Bochy as to how he wants to play this.
And Pagan takes a ball, 1 ball and no strikes.
And no sign of the bunt.
In at third is Prado. Giants with good speed on the bases. And there's a strike to even the count. Adrianza is at second base.
They have bunt down the first base line with Goldschmidt playing back at first, and the way that Thatcher falls off the mound towards the third baseline. Not a bad play here either.
Base hit left field. Here comes Adrianza. He hits the bag at third. It's a good throw, and he is safe. And this one is over. So Angel Pagan ends it with a base hit to left field, and the Giants end up evening up the series with a win here in extra innings. I'll say this, Bloomquist did a heck of a job of making that a play at home.
Well, you have great speed coming down the line with Adrianza, and you're watching the ball come in, and you know it's going to be on line. And the Giants get to celebrate the walk-off. Let's watch it one more time. No bunt here. He swings away. A clean single in the left. And look at Tim Flannery. What's he saying?
My butt is totally on the line. Let's move it.
And Adrianza makes it look good. But here's that throw you're talking about, and it was a pretty good one, but not good enough.
So the one thing the Diamondbacks have done so well this year, Mike, is get games to extra innings and then win games in extra innings. And the Giants end up winning this one with the base hit by Angel Pagan. And Pagan didn't start the game, but he ends up with the big hit.
It's the first time they've lost on a getaway day on the road in extra innings. They were 10-0. So the Giants did something that the the Diamondbacks certainly are not used to. But just some perseverance. They made some good plays when they had to. And there were some heroes today. We're going to talk to one of them.
All right, let's go down to Amy G with one of the heroes.
All right, we've got Angel Pagan, hero of the game, and let's just start with that at-bat. Everybody wants to be the guy that gets the run in, and you did it. How did you approach Joe Thatcher there?
Well, I know he's a tough pitcher, but I've been feeling pretty good from the right side. And Bochy gave me the okay to swing. I mean, that's a bunting situation. That's my game, but I trust myself that I could get it done, and I did.
Last time I talked to you right here, you had just hit an inside-the-park home run and torn your hamstring. It is so nice to see you back. You look like you feel great. And Boch said yesterday that you haven't missed a step. How good are you feeling? How good is it to be back?
I'll be honest with you, Amy. I feel like it never happened. Like nothing happened. That's the hard work we put in Arizona. I put everything I got for my teammates, the fans, the organization. And here we are. I'm feeling really good. Like nothing happened. Like I said.
Quickly, last one. How good does it feel to be able to split the series with the Diamondbacks and Madison Bumgarner? He doesn't get the win, but you guys win the game, and he puts you in that spot to do it.
Feels good. We have a goal. We got to finish strong as a team, and we got to, if we don't win the series, we got to tie it up. So I mean, at least we tie it.
Yeah, good job, Angel Pagan. Nice win for the Giants. Dwayne and Mike, let's get it up to you.
Hey, thank you to Angel Pagan and thank you to Amy G. And another start for Madison Bumgarner. He doesn't get the win, but he pitches well to get the Giants at least close and into extra innings.
Well, it's the 10th great start that he's had. The Giants in those 10 starts with his ERA under 3 had only won one ball game prior to today. So that streak is over, and I know he feels very good having made a contribution to a win. The Giants, I think, that has been so dramatic of an improvement to their defense in the last month. Where they were not a consistent defensive team for the most part of this year. Well, they're playing their best defensive ball, and it really is paying off, especially when you're playing close ball games against a team that's playing for something.
Yep, indeed they are. All right, final score, the Giants in extra innings, they beat the D-backs 3-2. Stay tuned. Esurance Giants post.